What's up, everybody? This is Master Ian Gamer, and we just got our first actual look at the new upcoming Overwatch tank hero, D.Mon. Blizzard published earlier today the official preview teaser for the upcoming D.Mon reveal, the reveal itself being on Thursday, a bit later this week. But today, we got to look at her. We've now seen what D.Mon herself is going to look like. Not as an in-game model, but in the cel-shaded animated version, which is presumably going to be the style of that upcoming trailer. So today we're going to be taking a look at this trailer for a trailer and breaking it down because there is a lot of stuff to take note of here, and I am very, very excited to jump right on in. So first and foremost, the teaser is only about 15 seconds long, very short, but it starts with a beautiful look at a hero who is near and dear to my heart. Wrecking Ball. Oh, who would have thought it would take D.Mon being added as a hero for Wrecking Ball to finally star in an animated short? And lo and behold, he looks beautiful here, swinging on the bridge of Busan in his Junker mech form, which, of course, he is a part of the Junkers. I think a lot of people sometimes forget that. But it does make sense that he is traveling here with the Junkers on their airship as they come to Busan. And we get the beautiful shot of him swinging on the bridge before indiscriminately firing upon civilians. Never change, Wrecking Ball. Never change. Another quick thing I will actually note here, it's real quick, blink and you'll miss it. As he swings up onto the bridge, we get a shot of Overlord in his mech right here. We will be seeing more of him a bit later in this teaser, but nice to see him pop up a little earlier than the others. Perhaps he's even first to the scene, considering that his mech is much more aerodynamic and can probably fly faster than the others. But yes, we see Ball pop up onto the bridge, and that is when we then get a look at D.Mon. Full frontal face reveal for D.Mon herself. That's how she's gonna look. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much spot on to how she's looked in the past. The lighting here might kind of distort some of the coloring. Her hair looks a bit more purple than we've typically seen past depictions of her in comics, but again, I think it's probably more the lighting than anything that makes it kind of look that way. And we see her in her mech Beast. Beast having undergone some pretty notable changes as well that I want to talk about. First and foremost, we can see the shot here with her arm holding the sort of joystick piloting arm thing, similar to how D.Va has hers in her mech. And we can see that actually, unlike past versions of Beast, the mech that we've seen, the arm is actually outside of the cockpit, much more similar to D.Va's mech design, which seemingly is the result of the mech itself having undergone the changes that we saw on the mecha base in season 3 and everything. And then especially once she boosts forward and we get a wider look at the mech itself, we can see her legs dangling out the front as well. So overall, I think it's safe to say that D.Mon's mech has been massively downsized compared to the huge hulking Beast mech we'd seen previously, and is likely similar in scale now to D.Va's mech size, which makes sense just because the mech has to fit on existing Overwatch maps, and if it was too much bigger than the size of D.Va, that wouldn't really work. So yeah, safe to say the D.Mon mech overall has been pretty substantially downsized. Also, it's worth noting that unlike the design of D.Va's mech, where she's basically laying on her chest, looking forward with her arms and face poking out the front, D.Mon is very clearly sitting upright in the front, hence why we can see her legs dangling down the front side of its torso. So what does that mean in terms of her possibly having an eject mechanic like D.Va? I don't know. I mean, realistically, it'd probably actually be easier to eject from a mech if you're just sitting on the front of it like that, as opposed to kind of leaning in it. But just an interesting design aspect to note. They're in very, very different sitting positions between D.Mon and D.Va in their respective mechs. We don't, unfortunately, get a good look at it from the front, but we do see clearly from this shot here that it does indeed still have a sort of bluish green energy sword coming out of the right arm, which, you know, in case there's any worry that she'd be losing her sword, we do see it still here. And then alongside her, as she pops up there at the end, we of course get the other 4 mech pilots, including D.Va, curiously, since D.Va's not really still part of Mecca Squad in the canon lore at the moment. she's hanging out with Overwatch. So I guess Overwatch must have sent at least some people, including Diva, back to Busan in order to help out the rest of Mecca Squad. But we do see all 5 of them fly up. King, Casino, and Overlord, all 3 of their mechs look to be essentially unchanged from past versions we've seen of them. Only D.Mon's mech has undergone the design modifications. The other 3 look pretty much same as always. Although it is worth noting that the backgrounds for all of them seem to indicate their relative positions, with Overlord at this point looking to be the only one that's actually on the bridge, which connects with what we saw earlier in the teaser of him actually following Wrecking Ball as he swung up. The other 4 look like they're still en route to the bridge, whereas Overlord's already there. So I don't know. I'm curious to see how that plays out, why he's the first one on the scene, especially considering that he's the support of the group. Feels like it'd make sense for him to wait for the tanks and DPS, but hopefully he's not getting into trouble. As many of you know, he is my personal favorite of the mecha pilots. As excited as I am for D.Mon being added, I would also quite love to see Overlord make the roster as well. So hopefully he doesn't get taken out in this fight or something. I don't know. We'll see. Now, I will also mention that Blizzard did publish an official release schedule for D.Mon, showing off this sort of preview for Season 4, where August 6th, the date they've been advertising, is when we'll be getting her hero trailer and story time. So that means we'll be getting the trailer that we've had teased and I've been talking about here in this video, along with presumably a voiced comic that's probably going to touch more on like her personal backstory, maybe who she was leading up to joining Mecca Squad, or, you know, stuff leading up to the Junker attack. We'll have to see what exactly that entails, but that's likely going to be more of a personal story for her, likely dubbed by her VA, who I also will mention we do get to hear D.Mon's voice in this trailer. I forgot to mention that. Here's a quick little audio sample.
Mecca Squad, on me!
Yeah, so we get to hear what she sounds like. Still don't know too much about her personality, but I'm sure we'll be getting a lot more on that. And then August 7th, the day after, we'll be getting her gameplay trailer. That'll be showing off her in-game kit and abilities, showing everything she can do. This is where we'll actually get to see her in-game model as well, so we'll know what that looks like. Then August 10th, that Monday after the weekend, will be the season launch trailer. So that'll be the trailer showing off the new mythic skins, battle pass stuff, any sort of major events that are going to be happening in the first half of the season. That sort of stuff will be dropping on that Monday. And then Tuesday, August 11th, the season goes live. And I, of course, will be streaming the season when it goes live on Tuesday, as well as the Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday leading up to the season going live, as I do every week. So feel free to tune in. I'm sure we'll be talking quite a bit about D.Mon as we proceed leading up to the launch of Season 4. And otherwise, that is likely all we're going to get until the hero trailer drops on August 6th. I, for one, am very, very excited at this point. I cannot wait to get my hands on D.Mon. I cannot wait to see more of her. So let me know down in the comments your thoughts on this little teaser. What are you looking forward to most? Are you excited to get to see D.Mon in action? Are you excited to see the rest of Mecca Squad? Or maybe, like me, you're a little more than that, excited to see Wrecking Ball starring in his first animated feature. As always, leave your thoughts in the comments down below, and be sure to subscribe, hit up that bell icon, follow me on X, and join my Discord server to hang out and never miss any future Overwatch news, streams, and other content. Feel free to swing by one of my streams this week leading up to her reveal, and otherwise, this is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day.